It's been a busy week in the Inland Northwest, so let's get you caught up with the KREM 2 News Week in Review. I'm Cody Proctor. Thanks for being here with us. Over the next half hour, we'll take a look back at some of the news you might have missed from the past week. So let's get started with one of the biggest stories from the Inland Northwest.
Tonight, the family of the hospital employee who lost her life in the shooting over the weekend is grieving this unexpected loss. I've been in touch with her family members all afternoon who say they are still in shock.
The Medical Lake streets are quiet, but beneath that calm, the town is shaken. A sense of disbelief lingers after learning a man shot and killed an Eastern State Hospital employee over the weekend. The medical examiner has not yet identified the shooting victim, but we've identified her through her family. The stepbrother of Colleen Hendrickson Bass says she was a guard at the hospital. In his Facebook post, Joshua Awesome said, "I will always remember your unique chuckle. It was sweet and warm, and you laughed in a way that made everyone around you feel at home. You will always be a part of me, and your light will continue to shine through those who loved you." Colleen was involved with the Lilac City Derby team. They, too, are heartbroken. On Facebook, the group describes her as a teammate who had unwavering kindness and peaceful strength. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office says the suspect shot Colleen in the hospital parking lot. He then took her radio and made statements about an army coming. A deputy on scene shot and killed the suspect, who they found with a handgun and rifle. Earlier that night, investigators say the man started a fire in the field next to a Medical Lake grocery store. Security video shows the moment he started the fire and took off. Down the road, deputies say he went into a home with a rifle and fired several rounds. At this time, we still don't know anything about the shooter or his motive, but we are expecting more details from the sheriff's office later this week. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
The Lilac City Roller Derby team says their world feels a little bit darker without their teammate Colleen Bass. Here at Roller Valley Entertainment Center, this is where the team ended their season this week, but with heavy hearts.
Folks, now if you're able, we invite you to stand and join us for a final roster call.
Last weekend was the final home game for the Lilac City Roller Derby League. The team that became like family took a moment to honor their lost friend.
Colleen Bombastic Bass began skating with Lilac City Roller Derby about 2002-ish. Her league mates describe her as kind and helpful, bubbly, and incredibly bright light.
It wasn't easy for Captain Jenna Carroll to say these words of goodbye.
And had spent most of the day just reading it over and over again to help detach myself from it so that I could get through it, because she deserved that. She was an incredible human being.
Colleen Bass was killed while on duty at Eastern State Hospital last weekend.
I think we're all kind of just riding the waves of it.
In her free time, Colleen spent hours at the Roller Valley Entertainment Center practicing and competing with her team. Jenna says she was kindness personified, someone who would give you the helmet off her head.
She was somebody who would help you. She helped our teammate move out of her third floor apartment when they broke their leg after gameplay. Her and another teammate just showed up to help him move. She just was incredible.
While the news of Colleen's death is still a shock, her team is holding her memory close to their hearts. Some honor Colleen by wearing her number 16.
We will also be retiring this number from our league.
During this moment of silence, the pain of losing Colleen lingers. But this team won't forget the light that Colleen Bombastic brought to their lives.
At this time, we still don't know anything about the shooting suspect or his motive, but we are expecting new information from the Spokane County Sheriff's Office later this week. Reporting in Spokane Valley, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Right now, parents and the Post Falls Police Department tell me an alleged photo was taken on school grounds that depicts two students pointing airsoft guns at another. That student allegedly was wearing Coeur d'Alene High School apparel.
Students and parents of Post Falls High School lined Pole Line Avenue demonstrating their case to school officials.
To just see our friends that are seniors not be able to play any more games, that's it for them, sad, hurts. So we're out here to show support.
They say a punishment issued to members of the high school football team was too harsh.
Especially their senior year, that's their biggest year for sports and getting looks at colleges. So I just think that they definitely deserve to play.
Post Falls Police Department reported that on September 4th, they were made aware of a photo taken of members of the Post Falls High School football team on school property. KREM 2 News is working to obtain the photo via a public records request.
Of them were holding, these airsoft pistols, and that the third person was pretending to be unarmed and surrendering.
The Post Falls Police Department tells me the student surrendering was in a jersey that appears to be a rival of the football team, but parents tell me it was a Coeur d'Alene High School jersey. Micaiah Quincy says he was there when the incident happened, but not in the photo. He says they meant no harm.
It was all fun. We were not trying to threaten or be disrespectful or anything like that. It was all like we were laughing and having fun.
Post Falls School District officials told me in an email they informed Coeur d'Alene Public School officials immediately once they became aware of the situation and the photo. Although unconfirmed by the school board, a Post Falls High parent whose student was in the photos tells me an original 5-day suspension was issued by the school. Then he says the district board of trustees added an extra 5 days of suspension and ordered no athletics for a year. In a letter from the board of trustees, they say they found the students in violation of board policy 504.12, which prohibits weapons on school grounds, even fake weapons.
100% that there should be punishment. These kids made they had a lack in judgment and a poor decision. The day was meant to be a fun day, media day. You make these choices and there's consequences.
We pull them out of school, we pull them out of sports, we take them out of mentorship. I mean, being in the programs with the coaches, that is the most male influence they will have.
That same letter from the Post Falls Board of Trustees, where they are addressing community concerns, it outlines that policy requires a 1-year automatic expulsion for weapons brought on campus. The letter says with room for discretion, they wanted the students still to have a path to graduate, which is why they say the students were not expelled. One day after the school board's letter, the demonstration and walkout was a final attempt to change the outcome and get the students back on the football field.
I just want to say the teammates that we lost affected our team, and they're not just our teammates and friends, but they're our family as well.
Sports are definitely a huge thing, and this punishment takes a lot from them.
Parents say they hope the Post Falls Board of Trustees will reconsider the punishment and allow the students to return to athletics, though they admit their hopes are low. I'm reporting in Post Falls, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
As we go to break, here's a check of your forecast. Welcome back to the KREM 2 News Week in Review. Each weekend, we walk you through headlines from the past week in the Inland Northwest.
Excitement Tuesday. Return to hard work over the next 6 months.
The work of the task force will not just be another study, another report, something that gathers dust on a shelf. This is a commitment to action.
The 33-member Safe and Healthy Spokane Task Force, launched Tuesday, will now work to formulate a regional action plan on public safety, the judicial system, and mental and behavioral health. The task force represents the region's law enforcement, government, community, and health sectors.
In 2024, our emergency department had 8,700 adult visits for behavioral health issues, which makes about 15% of the patients that visit our emergency department.
Part of the discussion will undoubtedly deal with the Spokane County Jail. Voters turned down a tax measure to expand the facility in 2023. At the time, City Council member Michael Cathcart supported Measure 1.
We can't repeat Measure 1.
But says the proposal just didn't come together. But he does believe the task force, with its diverse voices and perspectives, may come up with the workable solution.
And I think that is going to create something that the voters are going to have a much better ability to sink their teeth into.
Though he wants to see more investment in behavioral health and treatment. Angel Tomio Sam agrees.
Well, I really think that I'm here just to kind of keep the group grounded.
Speaking as someone with professional and lived experience inside Spokane County's jail and legal system. She led an effort to thwart Measure 1 and says there needs to be more resources for people before, during, and after incarceration.
We can build a really grand building. You know, we could have the best technology, we could have the best staff, but it's when somebody comes out and before they go back in is where the rubber really needs to meet the road.
The group will now meet monthly, starting this week. They expect to deliver the comprehensive plan next spring. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Officials with the Spokane Regional Health District say that Alicia Thompson, the administrative officer, has resigned. This comes just after Thompson has only served in the role for less than 2 years. From the Spokane Regional Health District website, Thompson started her role in December of 2023. At the time, she moved back to Spokane from Arizona. She was hired after her predecessor, Amelia Clark, also resigned from the same position in June of 2022. A spokesperson for SRHD says they cannot comment on the details of Thompson's resignation. KREM 2 News has filed a public records request to learn more. Bylaws from the Board of Health describe the administrative officer position serves as the director of the health district. Officials also tell me responsibilities include managing operations, communications, and finances. The Board of Health did appoint 2 interim administrative officers, Ray Byrne, current Division Director of Environmental Public Health, and Kim Kramartz, current Director of Finance. Spokane Regional Health District staff tell me they are now in the early stages to hire a new administrative officer. This is a developing story I'm reporting in Spokane. Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
Thanks for joining KREM 2 News this weekend. I'm Cody Proctor. Right now, we're taking a look back at some of the news stories from the past week.
A federal judge has been assigned to the case with a hearing expected later on this week. Meanwhile, the Oregon National Guard confirms the troops are being processed and could be available for service later this week. Oregon's Attorney General Dan Rayfield filed an emergency motion Monday in federal court seeking a temporary restraining order to block President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to protect the federal immigration building in Portland. The motion argues that local law enforcement has the situation under control, and adding federalized troops will make it worse. Portland Police Chief Bob Day.
I don't see the need for the National Guard at this time. I really believe that we've got a handle on it.
For several months, a small group of demonstrators have camped in front of the ICE facility in southwest Portland, leading to occasional clashes with federal agents protecting the building. Some protesters have blocked federal vehicles, vandalized the building. There have been more than 24 arrests since June.
I'm confident that the resources of the Portland Police Bureau can manage incidents and actions that are occurring down there in South Waterfront.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth sent a memo to Oregon Governor Tina Kotek Sunday ordering 200 members of the Oregon National Guard into federal service for 60 days. A spokesperson for the Oregon National Guard confirmed it's in the process of mobilizing the troops to help protect federal property, and they could be on the ground by later this week. This weekend, Governor Kotek and other local leaders told Trump Portland does not want or need troops to intervene.
When people cross the line, there's unlawful activity, people are being held accountable. This is not an insurrection. This does not require military troops in an American city.
Oregon's emergency motion claims the president lacks the authority to deploy the Oregon National Guard, which is typically reserved for disaster relief, such as wildfires or flooding. The Oregon National Guard says that some of their troops are specially trained in crowd controls, and those are the ones likely being deployed. What role they will play in protecting that federal immigration office in Portland and coordinating with federal agents is not yet clear. In Portland, Oregon, Kyle Boshi.
The front doors to one of the country's only urban national parks were closed and locked Wednesday morning.
It's okay, we go back to Frankfurt on Friday and then it's finished here.
Had you heard anything about this?
No.
While no signs explained why, the Klondike Gold Rush National Historic Park in Seattle was closed today. The shutdown comes as national parks across the country are closing or scaling back visitor services due to the federal shutdown. This man says, "I came to America to see the national parks. It's what I've been waiting for. But right now, at this moment, I feel very unlucky." Just a few blocks away, Bob Donegan of the Seattle Historic Waterfront Association doesn't believe this shutdown will have a measurable impact on tourism, at least not yet. He points to other pressing issues.
Now, we've got the federal buildings across the street over here. I don't know how many people are in those buildings. We got the Coast Guard a mile south. I don't know how many people are in there, but we're not likely to see them for lunch or dinner because they don't have to come to work anymore. But that's a tiny fraction.
Donegan shared what he calls encouraging numbers compiled by his nonprofit. In 2024, the waterfront drew a record 7.5 million unique visitors, surpassing pre-pandemic levels by more than 1 million.
And with the increased cruise traffic, and with the Club World Cup, and now with the Mariners playoffs, I think we're going to have more than 8 million unique visitors to the waterfront.
As for international guests, the company that operates the Victoria Clipper tells us their 2025 business has already been hit hard by U.S.-Canada trade tensions, with passenger visits to Seattle down about 30% compared to last year. But at this point, they say they don't anticipate the current shutdown will cause any additional damage.
Welcome back to the KREM 2 News, a week in review. I hope you're having a great weekend. Let's get back to one more story you might have missed this past week.
If this ice rink passes, it'd be developed right here on city-owned land in Spokane Valley at 2100 North Sullivan Road on the Sullivan property. According to the city of Spokane Valley, the money for the estimated $44 million project would come from a benefactor working with the Inovia Foundation. The proposal says the 65,000 square foot building would feature 2 NHL-sized ice sheets with a seating capacity for 500 to 700 people, locker rooms and skate rentals. It would also feature youth and adult hockey programs and have public skating. In exchange, the city would help with improving the roads and utility infrastructure. Inovia also wants to set up a 99-year ground lease for 11 acres at Sullivan to build and operate the ice rink and at least 2 other buildings such as a hotel and commercial space.
This is, as Shelley said, a generational opportunity. One that really I've never seen in my career. The donor coming forward with a deal like this.
The proposal saw both support and criticism during last week's city council session.
I hope you guys don't get all wrapped up on this one proposal and chase the shiny object, the dog chasing the squirrel. Because I looked through the whole thing and there's really no concrete figures at all in it.
I think we all need to be very excited about the opportunity that we have. We have a multimillionaire that wants to help us.
According to the proposed plan, construction on the rink looks to start around March, with occupancy in the spring of 2027.
Keep it here for more news and weather updates throughout the weekend. And don't forget, you can watch our latest newscasts anytime on your schedule on KREM 2 Plus. Download and watch right now for free. I'm Cody Proctor. Thank you for watching KREM 2 News Week in Review.